Okay, so hi, welcome back, live on YouTube. So it says, my name's Devaraj. Hopefully, this broadcast goes okay. I'm currently in the middle of leading a sexuality festival here at Osho Lila, co hosting it with Amura and Niraj. And it means also there's quite a lot of people on site using the Wi Fi, so it's possible it breaks down at some point, but hopefully not. I enjoy this. I enjoy this festival. I don't sleep so much. We just had a break. It was like a 5 day chunk. It started last Tuesday through till Sunday lunchtime, and then we had a couple of days break, which I didn't really get so much of a break. And now we're starting again for another 5 days, and then it's over. But it's kind of, it's like a crazy energy when you've got 250 people on site who are really interested in sex and sexuality. It's quite a madhouse, and you need a certain level of awareness somewhere to get into it at all. You need a certain level of awareness. Most people are fascinated with sex. It's like the main guru guy that I got into was Osho. The Bhagwan, and he was always kind of called like a sex guru. Tantric sex guru, which I think he courted that quite openly, and the newspapers certainly loved it. They love having a good sex guru to have a go at and to complain about, or to make it look scandalous and stuff like that in the news. But the bottom line is as well, if as a therapist you don't work with sex and sexuality, I mean, what the fuck are you doing really to some degree? It's like, because it's just so much the core of us. If we didn't have sex, then our genes won't pass on to the next level, and so everyone is kind of transfixed and fascinated by sex somewhere. And so it is like a really cool area to work in, and also it's like a really dodgy area to work in because there's so many kind of accusations and dramas and everything. If you've ever seen me talk about the midbrain and about hijacking, you know that we get subtly pulled in where our upper mind doesn't want to go. So a lot of people, they who've got really big sexual wounds like abuse wounds and trauma, those wounds are repressed because of a stigma around being sexually abused, and then but the person's, their energy field often becomes very sexualized. They're totally interested in sex, but they're unaware that they've got these huge wounds from their early childhood, and then as they start to get into sex and getting closer to people, the wounds come up and they spin out, and it's quite an energy to hold. 250 people kind of interested in sex in one place. It's quite something for 5 days. In fact, 2 5 day blocks. But we work well with trying to get people to really take responsibility for their behaviour. It's difficult, but I must admit, this year it seems to have gone pretty smooth so far. Anyway, I can do a little bit. I thought I'd like to try and keep this stream going because I know some people will listen to it afterwards, and it's cool to do it. So yeah. Oh, one person online. If you got a question, you just ask away. You just ask away. I don't mind. I usually get the odd troll coming along to whine on a bit, but that's how it is. What else is going on? Not a ton else. I got a workshop after that, after this sexuality gathering, about 2 weekends time. Rebirthing bioenergetics and emotional release. It's good chance to really learn about these, learning experientially. I want this body-based therapy is coming. It's coming. I see somewhere the great myth of the father is dissipating. You know, in our society, the great myth of the benevolent father or whatever dissipating, and people are starting to look around, like, how the fuck do I keep myself together in this world? Can I really believe all the stuff I read in the Daily Mail or whatever newspaper it is? And how the fuck do I move ahead and keep myself together? And working with the body supplies a lot of those answers in terms of who am I, or how do I get myself clear, how do I get myself stronger and really together. Working with the body provides a lot of those answers that your mind cannot provide. People go on thinking and thinking about stuff. 99% of it is pretty fucking pointless, if you ask me. If I look back at my whole life of thinking, how far did it get me? Not very fucking far. It's just useful to reflect on thought patterns to understand what's really going on inside my own awareness. Anyway, on account of co-running this festival, I haven't really been putting so many videos out of late. But I've got a couple in the pipeline I'll try and do in the next little while. And then we... Ethan, hey man, how are you? Yeah, pretty good. I'm in this sexuality gathering, as I was just explaining. Your last video sparked a lot of thought for me lately. Oh, you mean the one about the phone? The one about the phone? Yeah, I just had that inspiration when I kind of woke up one morning, and I trade a bit sometimes, you know, on the cryptos and that, or other pricing, and you know, and my mind's busy, you know. Should I do some meditation, or should I just look at my fucking phone? You know, I thought, fuck me, I'm just my phone's bitch, you know. My phone tells me what to do, it tells me when to do it, and I sit around obeying it, you know. And in some ways, it's probably not bad, but you know, I'm entirely conscious of that, and when doesn't it serve me? Sometimes it really doesn't serve, you know, when I'm trying to open my body more, to just be, I'm kind of like spending half a day opening my body and half a day closing it on the phone. So that's like you know, it's like a person having one foot on the gas pedal and one on the brake, you know. And it's a little bit sometimes how my life has been, taking steps forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. Anyway, let me know if it was the one about the phone. But hey, Dave, what do you eat? I don't know. I mean, I eat food they have in the community, but it's a bit too veggie for me. So I like to have a decent breakfast with some protein. I was thinking about going meat only, but I don't know if I'm really hardcore enough for that. And my girlfriend's Italian, and they love food. You know, it's kind of like this whole meat only. What do they call it? Paleo diet. You know, that intrigues me, and I think it will be good for my body. But I'm a little bit like, whoa, can I really commit to that? Can I really commit to that? I think eating these carbs and sugars doesn't suit me at all. You know, it sends my energy all round the place. And if I just eat meat, I feel a lot healthier, even though, you know, I don't really want to support the factory farming of animals and stuff like that. Nevertheless, it makes me feel a lot better. And I see people who eat a lot of veggie stuff and sugars and carbs, and mostly their lives are a fucking mess, frankly. It seems to be a lot more relationship to what we eat than people really realise. You know, I think if you stuck a load of people on a meat only diet for a month, and other people could eat what they like, and you see what those people on a meat only diet achieve in that time, just in their life, you'd probably find it's way up. You'd probably find it's way up than a control group of people just eating whatever. Which is kind of curious, because 5 years ago, if you'd asked me, I'd say it doesn't fucking matter what you eat. But I don't know. I mean, I'm coming more to a different understanding of it now. Certainly as I feel it in my body, if I have too much carbs, God, it's not doing anything. Anyway, yeah, I also want to put some video. I did mean the phone video. Starting to notice there's an avoidance behaviour. That's it exactly, man. I mean, fuck. You know, I got to check in when I use the phone. Do I actually need to use the phone right now? Or am I just checking out the price of something, seeing if anyone's bloody messaged me? Have I got any new emails? Do I need my emails right now? You know, there's so much avoidance in it, you know. It's really good to pull myself up, or sometimes just go away and not have the phone for a day or two, you know, and just not take it, not be online, and just see how my body feels more open, how I feel just more engaged with people and with situations. So I think, you know, getting offline is a great, and certainly, you know, yeah, you need to do a bit of phone work. I need to do some stuff on my phone. It's people to ring, emails to check and stuff, but the level to which I do it, sometimes it's an avoidance strategy. You hit the nail on the head, Ethan. You've hit the nail on the head. It's an avoidance strategy. So it's great to take it on sometimes. Yeah. I don't know, with phones, hey, they're like kind of... I remember the first one I got was this, like, I don't know, I was out in Bali and my friend had one of his smartphones must have been about 2010 or something, and I hadn't really seen the smartphones before. It was an HTC one, and I thought, fucking hell, I'm going to get one of those. That was about 9 years ago, and it's, yeah, they take over your life very easily, but you just got to decide if you want it or not, you know. Taking responsibility is the key, hey. Fuck me, it's like the clue, you know. People, you know, you got to take responsibility for who you are, what you do, and all the stuff that happens to you, and then you can just move up, you can just move forwards. All these lame ass bastards blaming all the time, it's just such a load of bullshit, you know, always wanting someone else to be responsible for their life. I mean, they are just the ones that get used by society, and in a way that's good. In a way it's good, you know. I noticed myself as I get slowly, bit by bit, deeper inside myself, I have less and less sympathy for people who are just drifting through life and then complaining, and then complaining. If you want something, there's actually very little stopping you getting it. You just need to commit to a progressive pathway over time, and you will get there. There's nothing stopping you but your own bullshit. And I see a lot of people, they just think their thoughts are so important, and they're just fucking not. They're really not. Not that we get by entirely without thinking, but I mean, it just doesn't really matter. And the world outside also doesn't matter all that much. Doesn't matter all that much. I was listening to Osho the other day, and he said something like, the world is not meant to be fair. Do not waste your time trying to make the world fair. You're just avoiding the inner journey. And on the inside, we're all the same, deep inside. But that's a journey that you have to travel to get there. And it requires some level of commitment and self-honesty, integrity. You can't get there. And so many people I see, young people just twatting about trying to change the world outside. I mean, it's just such a load of bullshit. So little by little, because traditionally my views I would find it easy to take opposite positions, which has always made my life difficult in a sense, because it was hard to find a position to agree on. But in a good way, I can be in the moment and really take a position, which is just in the moment. And then sometimes people get the hump with it. I can't really go on Facebook too much because I can be quite opinionated, and all these sort of mind fuckers on Facebook start whining on. But they don't realise that the position you take in the moment is the position you're taking in the moment. Maybe 20 seconds later it's different. And that is the reality of awareness. It is not about having this hardened mind that thinks about how the world should be and thinking that is good. That is not good. That is the mindset that needs Donald Trump to come along and fucking shout at you and fuck your life over, basically, because that is what you're karmically asking for when you start to harden your mind to have a fixed viewpoint on how life should be. You're basically saying to you're strangling the rest of your fucking energy system. You're strangling the energy centers in your body when you rigidify your mind. So, it's great to have like a ladder inside where you can just come out from different levels. If you want to be in your heart, you can come out from the heart. If you want to be in your guts, you can come out from the guts. And if you want to really, occasionally really think about stuff, you can come out from there. Once you've got the heart and the guts going, then it's not such a big deal to be a bit in your mind sometimes. But that's more and more what I'm starting to teach to people. I'm starting to stick it on the line a bit more. I see that. Sometimes I listen to Dan Pena. I like listening to him because he's a real hardcore motherfucker, I think he's fucking great. And there's not many people from a kind of new age spiritual background who would think, I'm willing to bet, that would think Dan Pena is fucking great, with his swearing and telling people he's a fucking killer and they're useless cunts. But I like it. I think it's the kind of approach that resonates with me. And it's not the only approach. I don't know what he's like at home, if he's quite as hardcore all the fucking time, even in breakfast or something like that. But it's definitely good to be able to take that approach with people, and I'm feeling that more and more in my own life, looking for people who really want to fucking step up, as opposed to whining on or getting very excited about their thought patterns. My precious little thought patterns. What a load of shit. There's fuck all stopping you from stepping up and taking stuff on if you want it. And so I'm more and more coming into facilitating that. And working on myself to do it as well. Getting that gut going, no one is on this planet is a decent boss unless they've got a gut center. You can't run shit with your mind, it's not going to fucking work. And if you want to be a boss, if you want to have that attitude, you got to have a gut center. Whether you're a criminal boss or boss of a company, you're working communally with people and you want to be the one that's in the center. You've got to have a gut center, and you can invest in that with bioenergetics, with working out in a certain way, working your body in a certain way so you get your gut down lower. Definitely agree. Hey Ethan, doing nofap. Yeah, cool man. Always been a struggle for me, as I imagine it is for many, but fully worth the effort. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's good not to masturbate as a guy. As a young man, or even as an old guy, it's good not to do it, The only caveat I have for like 19-year-olds is like they got so much sexual energy sometimes, it's more to restrict it rather than drive yourself nuts. There are occasionally, I think, accounts of people going a bit psychotic from not masturbating because the pressure gets so much inside, you know. But, you know, you've got to move your body and work it, you know, and it can be done. We've had this cult of the father in our culture for a long, long time. It's been going on for 1,000, 2,000 years, and it is dissipating. Something is dissipating. And in that, you know, there's a lot of opportunity for change. And the bottom line with the patriarchies, the cult of the father, they always feel threatened by young men in their 20s and 30s, and they will always start wars to kill off the young men, get rid of the bastards, so they don't get their own. All the old men can keep a hold of power and pass it down the line they want, basically. So that's always been going on, and now that in a way the wars are starting to dissipate a little bit and people have had enough of them, you know, the patriarchies are under threat. They're under threat. Greeting from Indonesia. Greeting, Andrew. Greeting. Yeah, nice out there. I guess it's quite late out there. It must be like Indonesia. It must be like 1 in the morning or something like that. People are messaging me. I'm gonna have to just. I don't know if I can't turn this around now once it started going live. Anyway. Yeah. I've been out in Bali a little bit. It's quite nice. It's a bit lightweight. It's kind of sweet, Bali, but I like being in these Western countries where you can really get into your gut center a bit. You know. I mean, not to say that no one is in their gut centre in Bali, they are, but the Westerns out there always want fluffy stuff, was my experience of being in Bali a bit. I used to go out there to the Ratu Bagas ashram over on the east coast of the island, you know, near the big volcano, Agung. That was some pretty hardcore shit that guy would be doing out there. And you'd have to shake all day for like 9 hours a day and do this tobacco purging. It was pretty fucking nuts. But it does, it clears stuff up. Anyway, I'm going to hang out here for a little bit more and see if anyone else has got questions and stuff like that. If you have, just put it out. You know, just put it out. I don't mind what it is. Yeah. But generally, as I was saying, you know, I'm looking to step up with some of my, the way I'm leading things a bit and start to attract people who really want to put it on the line. There's a lot of fear in my gut. Any advice? Yeah, feel it for a start and keep breathing deep into your belly. You want to slowly, progressively move through it. Fear happens usually when there's it's like a kind of separation, like a no man's land around a no man's land, around an emotion that you haven't felt for a long while, or like a traumatic emotion that's trapped inside your system. Fear develops around it. So people get fear when they move towards anger, to get fear when they move towards intimacy. You know, they get fear when they move towards any intense emotions, sexual jealousy, whatever. There's fear around them. And what you need is, first of all, to recognize it. So it's great you're recognizing it. That's very good. Very, very good. And then to keep on breathing and feeling it. Taking it slowly, working out what is it? What's the fear about? And then finding a way to slowly move towards it and to keep breathing and feeling your body. When I was younger with fear, I would space out and go too much in my mind. And then I would be very provocative at times. You know, almost provoking in the most extreme situations. Miracle I never got beaten up or killed when I was young. Many people tell you that. Miracle. And, you know, that was my way of coping with it, but it was not a good way of coping with it. You need to feel the fear and keep moving forwards towards it bit by bit. So that's the way through with fear. Which is your favourite song between Goodbye Air Supply? I don't know those. I don't know those songs. Maybe I play them sometimes. My music tends to be. No worries, Powell. My music tends to be a little bit based around. I DJ a little bit, but I haven't downloaded any fucking house music for like 3 or 4 years, so I'm really not a DJ anymore. And I just play music in workshops and gatherings and stuff, so I just get the music I need for that, which tends to be very hard, kind of emotional release music. Sometimes I'm very soft, gentle, kind of hugging and feeling music. It's a little bit schizoid, my music collection. Greetings from Peru. Majed, you're in Peru. You never revealed that before. Cool. Nice to hear from you, man. Well, thanks. Okay, cool. Yeah, so, you know, I'm stepping stuff up and looking a bit, you know, who wants to really move forward, move deeper. I'm planning this men's group in Bristol. It's a little bit held up because I'm busy with this thing. I'm busy with this sexuality festival at the moment. Once that's finished, I'm going to get on it to try and hire a space. The room I was hoping to use, they're shutting down, unfortunately, and relocating in Wilder Street. But I want to get a men's group going in Bristol once a month, a nice 3-hour bioenergetics evening group. And with that, to start to step up, I want to explore a bit more what we can do in cities to get young men in particular together who really want to get their shit together to do it and to support each other to move deeper. Do you have a 3 or 4 day workshop in the winter? The next decent sized workshop I've got coming up is in the middle of October here in the UK. It's called Spiritual Boot Camp. That's going on in October and also in February. Otherwise, I have some 2 day workshops. Those are 3 day workshops, and they're pretty full on. So check those out. You can find them on the Osho Leela website, or message me privately. I'll send you a link. But yeah. So there's a spiritual boot camp running. I've got a couple of those coming up in the winter time, and that'll be really good. A really good 3 days. I'm depressed now, 22 years old, just high school graduate, introvert. I don't have friends, single. I throw away my time for 4 years. What should I do? Give advice, please. As dad. I'm not a dad myself. I mean, get into some fucking bodywork stuff, man, you know, and you know, breathing down into your belly. Check out my YouTube channel and look up the bow and the arch, you know, and look up the triple opener. You know, they're great for young guys to start to get deeper into your body. Depression is a learned behavior at the end of the day for most people. There might be some neurological component somewhere, but basically it's a learned behavior as a way of dealing with certain intense type of emotions or traumatic childhoods and stuff like that, you know. And frankly, most people have got a traumatic childhood, you know. Look around if there's any decent therapy going on or stuff that you can do, you know. But you can do stuff on YouTube. Get into things, you know. You have the possibility to change your life. You can do it. With depression, what you've got to look at, I've got a presentation, a couple of presentations on depression. I think there's one called Understanding Depression and another one called Radio Depression or something like that. A big component of depression is people just don't move their body when they need to move their body. What they do is they listen to their mind, which is telling them, oh, I'll just sit here, I'll just lie here. Don't fucking listen to that radio depression bullshit. You know, if you're a 22-year-old guy, the chances are you need to move your body. You need to move it. And then the depression will start to shift. And if you can do some bioenergetics as well, that's great. So you've got to learn to be quite distrustful of your inner narratives. The problem for a lot of people is that they spend too much time thinking. You know, you've got a phone, you've got a laptop, you've got a tablet, you know, you're thinking. You've got to appreciate most of what your mind comes out with is a heap of shit and it doesn't fucking matter. 95% at least is that. And if you want to beat depression, you've got to recognize if you've got to do something like, okay, I'm going to move my body. Each day I'm going to run for 20 minutes or go down the gym for half an hour, something like that. And you just fucking do it. Doesn't matter what your mind comes up with. Your mind will come up with layer after layer of bullshit and you just keep doing it and the depression will move. The difficult bit is people are too fucking soft with their own mind. And there's too many whining, bleeding heart therapists out there who tell them it's okay, or counsel workers or whatever. Isn't, and then they just give you medication. It's a load of bollocks. It's a load of bollocks. If you want to move it, you can move it. Simple as that. I hope that helps. Thomas Shellen. Hello, long time no see. Hi, Thomas. I think, yes, do we know each other? I get confused between people online and people from the old days. How can I express myself in front of others without them thinking I'm nuts? They may think you're nuts. They may think you're nuts. You know, I've been socially, what's the word, kind of shoved out or whatever they call it, ostracized or whatever, you know. I mean, the thing is, you know, you've got to take, what I say is to take progressive, slow risks, you know, to come out of yourself, We have a lot of places inside of us which are pretty fucking nuts. I am pretty fucking nuts in places. I've been way out there in my fucking time, you know. But you've got to come to peace with it. And then you recognise that there's an also, you know, it's not the only part of you. There's also the loving part. There's also the caring part. There's also the very sexual part. There's also the very outgoing extrovert part. There's all these different parts of you, all these different parts of me. And, you know, you can't be too concerned about what people think. It's good to be a bit concerned because we're not teaching fucking psychosis here, you know. It's good to be a bit concerned what people think. You know, it's okay. But progressively take risks and seek out friends. Seek out friends, you know, that you feel like, you know, you can, that are a bit more wild or outgoing yourself. You know, look for guys where you can get out there and let loose a bit, you know. When I was young in my 20s, I was a punk for a long time, you know, and a lot of fucking nutters around there. And a lot of people projecting and acting out stuff from their childhood, to be honest. But the good part is that you could go pretty fucking nuts at times. You could go pretty fucking nuts. People weren't too worried about it. It probably wasn't like going out with a group of accountants or something. I don't know what they get up to. But, you know, the trick is just to start to take risks. What's a risk for you? You probably know, and then start to move towards those risks. And like that, you can slowly, you can go and do it. You can go and do it. You can get it. Andrew, thank you, Dad. I'm not your dad. You gave me amazing advice. But do you believe in the power of dream? A high school graduate will get success in business. You want success in business, fucking hell, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Most people who are successful in business have got the most shit life and get cancer in their 50s, to be brutally honest. They have the most shit fucking life. Yes, I can understand you want success, to have money or to have girls or whatever you want. I don't mind. You could be gay, I don't mind. But if you want to be successful, great. If you want to be successful in business, you've got to get a gut center, basically. Simple as that. You need that gut center so you can feel into things. If you go and you talk to any good finance guy that's involved in a company somewhere, they've got a gut center, bosses and leaders have a powerful gut. You've got to work on that. You're getting depression, man, you've got to move your body. You've got to get your body moving, and not just when I'm pushing you a little bit. We can do one-to-one sessions if you want. You can message me afterwards. But you got to move your body, and you got to learn to not listen to your mind when it's just kind of giving you radio depression. When you're just tuning into that channel in your brain and it's giving you this negative bullshit, you got to get up, move your energy, do 20 press-ups or what the fuck else, something that moves your energy to change. Don't believe in these dreams and stuff too much. I wouldn't bother with it really. I wouldn't bother with dreams too much. Not too much. The bottom line is you got to get in your body, move your energy, wake yourself up and get friendships, go out there, take some risks and have a fucking good life, because you've got a life, man. Fuck, man, you don't know. I don't know about spiritual things so much, but maybe you're waiting 100,000 years to have this life. And now you're 22 years old and you're sitting there being depressed. Fuck that. You don't want to go through your life sitting like that. Do you want to go through your life like that? Fuck that. Whatever happens, you want to have a fucking life. So that you can come to your grave or whatever, your closing days, and feel like, yeah, I fucking lived. I fucking did it. I moved towards the stuff I was afraid of. I went out and got a bit crazy here and there, and I had a great fucking time. And whatever, the crazy, bad shit happened, good shit happened, whatever. I wouldn't believe too much in dreams and stuff. And mostly to get successful in business, you need to be a lot of the time these days, the way corporations run it. Not only like this, you've got to be a boring, dull motherfucker who just works like a maniac. A lot of the time is the truth. So you've got to see if you really want that. And if you do, go for it. Accountants do Excel spreadsheets while drunk. I don't know. But maybe they do. Yes, a risk would be too vulnerable. I'm usually very loud and big mouth, so being more serious, I think. Yeah, vulnerability is great, I take risks. That was always for me. It was easy for me to be loudmouth or a comedian, or getting drunk and speaking nonsense. But to really, to share my heart and to say what was upsetting me, to be honest about where I was struggling, was a challenge. And it feels satisfying when I can do it. And you also have to, make sure that you pick the right people to do it with, where you can feel your way in. Because I see sometimes people, they splinter off. So you got to take things gentle and take it slow, and then just share a little bit more what's really happening in your life, where you get scared and upset and you don't want to keep the big male mask on all the time. But it's beautiful when you can share that, it's beautiful. Okay, guys, anyone else got a question? Just stick it out. I'm not going to do too long, because I've got this festival to run, and we're starting up again this evening. I'm always a little bit nervous before it starts. I've got this girlfriend here, and it kicked off a little bit between us. We haven't been dating other people and stuff, but that, I don't know, I can see that maybe it happens this week. It wouldn't really be. I've been running this festival since 2010. There's always some huge personal drama for me at some point, so no doubt it'll happen at some point. I just learned to relax and not mindfuck too much about it, And sexuality is basically great, and it does trigger the fuck out of people. That is the reality of it. It's very easy to sit in your room and masturbate and watch porn, It's a totally different deal to just having to go up to women and tell them you fancy them, or, trying to really get sexual with people, trying to be honest, authentic, whatever. It's, that is the real challenge out there in life, I think. To really live your sexuality is really a challenge, especially for men in this day and age, It's a fucking challenge, because you got the whole Me Too thing and all of that, and women wanting more women's rights and stuff like that. And as a guy, you don't want to you don't want to be just completely abusing people, you know, but like at the same time, you know, you want to be able to live your sexuality, you know. It's good fun to be able to fuck a lot, you know. It's good, you know, and it's very, you know, if you want to be a boss, it's also it's one channel through. It's one channel through. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's one channel through, you know, to really be sexually powerful, you know. It is something, you know, and you know, so it's worth moving towards, but it's just so fucking challenging these days. I get so many guys that come to me, and you know, they're just almost apologizing for being male. They're apologizing for being male, you know. They just don't want it anymore, you know, because everyone thinks they're going to get demonized, you know. They'd say, you know, is it okay to even chat up women anymore? Is it okay to chase after women, you know? So, you know, it's a colossal mind fuck these days. I can imagine being a young guy. I'm not a young guy, but it's a colossal mind fuck, you know, as to what's okay way to proceed. Is it okay to be really fucking male? Anyway, I've got another question or two coming in here. Luke, hi man. Hi Luke. I've heard breathing through the mouth is bad as opposed to nasal breathing. I mean, what bad? What is bad about it? I would say if you're doing bioenergetics, breathing through the mouth is the default. It's the kind of normal thing. And if people really want to breathe through the nose, it's okay. But the reason why is, like, if you want to develop in particular your kind of gut center, then breathing through the mouth brings more air and energy into your body. You know, it activates you more. So I tend to go for breathing through the mouth, but it is not the one is bad and the other is good. Anyone telling you that is not someone I would listen to very extensively. You know, they're obviously a bit of a fucking idiot, to be honest. So to be brutally honest, you know, people who go into breathing through the mouth is bad. I mean, what the fuck? I mean that's just bloody stupid. That is. When you breathe through the nose, what you'll notice is there's like two streams of energy. If you're energetically sensitive, it goes up through around here, around your head, you know, and it activates the mind a bit more, which in some, you know, yogic techniques or, you know, tantric practices can be good. But generally, if you want to kind of develop your male side, breathing through the mouth is better because it centers you more in your belly and you feel more like, hey, I'm a fucking guy. You know, it's good. Hope that helps. Oh, thanks. Yeah, cheers, Luke. No worries, man. Thomas. So is there a way I can stop being a coward towards women? I usually chicken out from showing I'm sexually interested, touching her, making moves on her. I mean, the first thing to do, I think, is to take steps, you know. So if you see someone you're really attracted to, go up to them and tell them you're really attracted to them. You know, so much guys think, okay, you know, if you're in a pub or something, in a bar, you know, fancy her over there, whatever. They massively fancy them, and their mind's fucking about, I want to go and see her, I'm not going to see her, and beating yourself up, feeling like a coward, and all of this. The clue, the trick for me is, you know, how can you make a move towards them? You know, and you'll see online all these guys telling you you've got to be confident and stuff like that, which doesn't always help if you feel very shy. You know, look for a way that you can make a connection and maybe be honest. Just say, look, I just wanted to come over and talk to you because I find you really attractive. Okay. And even if you have to run off at that point, you know, I mean, then you will feel fucking good because like they say, you know, it's better to regret something you have done than something you haven't. You know, at least you did something, at least you moved. I would say my advice would be, you know, make a move and just speak to the person and tell them you fancy them. Even say, you know, I've got this therapist online that I follow and he said I should come over and talk to you because I do really fancy you. So I'm just coming over to say hi. I don't want to bother you or spoil your evening or anything like that, but I just wanted to say that. Try something like that, you know, try something like that. There's all these coaches online, I think RSD Tyler or something like that, is that his name? He seems like quite a fun guy because he's not particularly good looking or anything, you know, and he just is a bit of a slob, and he goes into all these public places and just pulls women left, right and centre, and there's a lot about that, you know, but what we learn from culture about picking up women is probably not very effective, and it is, you know, confidence of course helps a lot. But how do you develop confidence? The only way you develop confidence is by taking baby steps towards doing things and just getting it together, you know. And also, of course, at some point you've got to look, what do you actually want? What do you actually want? And also you've got to look at sex and sexuality, because it's one thing to, you know, to chat up lots of women or something as a young man, but if you start sleeping with them, are you happy with your performance? Are they happy with you? Are they feeling good? Or did you just sort of get it in for like 3 minutes and then come and that was the end of that, you know? It's like, so there's a lot to it, you know, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to sex and dating and all of that. Anyway, that would be my advice. You know, just look, if you can go up to a woman and just tell her you fancy her. Just be honest. Just be honest. You know, because if you just go up to someone and start touching them or making moves on them, you've got to look, you know, whether that works for them or not. I think the honesty can be quite good. It can be disarming as well, because most attractive women are probably pretty bored with the same old guys coming up to them, trying out the same old fucking approaches. And a bit of radical honesty is quite different, and it can make you engaging. Andrew, my young sister, 19 years old, always attractive old white men over 40. It's like her fetish, and I think she's got a problem with her psychology. What do you think of that problem? Well, for a start, it's her problem, and not yours. I mean, the classic thing with younger women who are attracted to older guys is daddy issues, father issues, you know, and stuff like that. And you keep calling me dad as well, so maybe it runs in the family a little bit, that your dad perhaps wasn't as great as he could have been, or there's like a gap there. But finally, it's up to her. It's up to her. I mean, more appropriate to ask would be, you know, what are you actually, what are your feelings? Your younger sister, you know, of whom it's natural to be protective of our sisters, you know, especially younger sisters, and she's going off with all these old white guys. You know, what feeling does that give you? It's more of a thing, rather than you saying she's got a problem. You know, it is possibly something to do with her dad. You know, with your dad. Anyway. Mickey, hey man, long time no see. Finally made below, how are you doing? Been struggling with the gagging reflex on the bow. It's working well, but the gagging, being sick, hinders holding position. On the bow position, so you're gagging. It's bringing up a lot on there. You can also work a bit with a triple opener to really keep putting some energy in the guts. Yeah, that could help, Mickey. You're still doing your festival? I can't remember, you were doing a festival sometime, and I think I agreed to maybe go along, and I can't actually remember when it is. Hopefully it didn't happen and I totally spaced it out or something like that. I'm in the middle of running this sexuality gathering at the moment, and we're just about to start again. Yeah, definitely feeling the relaxed effect in the body, but would like to hold the position to a more climatic way, for sure. I mean, if a bow position you mean by the leaning back thing is making you gag, so there's something going on, and you've got to accept that it's making you gag, and just to keep working at it. You know, of course, we always want to want to have a big release and to feel wonderful, but we've also got to own where we're at in the moment. You know, so I mean, you're being very honest. That's great. If you're getting this gagging going on whilst you're doing the bow, you know, and a bit of vomiting is not bad, to be honest. I mean, it feels like a drag, but it's also a release. It's quite a primal release in many ways, so it is not bad. You know, my advice would be to keep sticking with it, or maybe even do some gag reflexes before you start, like 5 or 6 of them, just to maybe clear that a little bit, and then go into the bow position. Just checking if there's any more chat there. Yeah, so feel free, guys. I'm going to do about another 5-10 minutes. I've got to go a bit, but if you've got any good questions that you want to put out, just take a risk and go for it. I don't mind, you know. I don't mind questions about sexuality, bioenergetics, therapy, whatever you want to talk about. If you want to be an annoying troll bitch, you can do that as well. I don't really mind so much. I had a go at one last week. I don't know what's happened to him now, but anyway, you know, it's like it's part of life, hey? It's part of life. Often, in many ways, I think Facebook is one big gang of trolls, really. You know, all kind of mindily kind of get into each other's lives and stuff. Luke, very new to your channel, so I've missed it. You mentioned him, but what are your thoughts on Elliot? Elliot Hult's a great guy, man. Good fucking guy. You know, I tune into his Yo Elliot channel and I watch him. I'm actually he got in touch with me. I Skyped him about a month ago or a couple of weeks ago, because he's coming to London. He's coming to London in November 10th and 11th, and he wants me to help him run some stuff at a workshop he's doing. I can't remember where it is, somewhere in London on November the 11th for Sunday. But Elliot is a cool guy, man. He's a cool guy, and he's doing his bit to really help young men step up, you know, and also having his life and his kids and his wife and all of that. But he's a cool guy. I think he's a good role model for young men, and he's not afraid to take a position and to put stuff out there, and he's also not at all afraid to be vulnerable as well, you know, and put his things out. So I'm a big fan of Elliot. I watch him. I also watch I quite like Jason Capital, who I also know a bit. I do a bit of stuff with him on Skype. Sometimes we're kind of messaging a little bit and stuff like that. And he's got a very different approach, but I like the stuff he does as well. Hey Jibra, couldn't think of any questions this week. Hope you're well. No worries, man. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I just got back from a brief half a day on the beach with my girlfriend and starting this festival. But cool, man. I hope, yeah, no questions, no worries. I hope you have a good week. Yeah, the event is cancelled. Shame. Gagging is actually very relieving. I will try gagging before the bell. Yeah, man. Well, I apologize. Shame the event got cancelled, but yeah, that's how it is, I guess. Are you aware whether he is thinking of coming to Manchester? I really don't know. I actually asked his wife, Colleen, who's also his business manager, to send me a link when they got one for the London event. I know with Elliot, he doesn't plan stuff so far in advance, and he also, things tend to come online quite late in the day a little bit, and that's how he is. Nothing wrong with that. So I don't know if he's doing Manchester. Maybe someone's invited him up there. You could always try getting in touch and seeing if he wants to come up to Manchester. But I do know he's planning to be in London. He's doing a talk on the 10th, and he's doing an event, a one-day grounding camp on the 11th of November. So I know he's there. I know he's in Europe at that time, unless he's changed his plans. Not bothered telling me. But he's a pretty cool guy. When are we all doing the Bristol group? The Bristol group is going to be fucking great. I'm trying to get this Bristol men's group together. I'm a little held up with all the events I'm involved with over the summer. I was hoping to get it going by the beginning of October. I've got to check out. I've got a buddy in Bristol, Jason, and he's prepared a list of venues because I was hoping to get into Wilder Street, but they're closing the place down because there's a change there. I think they're building some office block or something. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I've got to find a new venue. If you know any Bristol venues, by the way, that you think it would be good for an evening men's group, like I'm planning to do Thursdays 7 till 10 once a month and do a real kick-ass bioenergetics and male support group for men who really want to step up. So that is coming in the pipeline. I've just got to find the venue, basically. Hopefully in the autumn it's coming. Devaraj and Elliot, big team. Yeah. I'm going to be very excited to meet him. We've had a couple of chats over the years, and he's a pretty cool guy. I invited him to come down here as well. Would you send me a post on this channel when you get the link? Yeah, for sure, man. It's like I mean, basically, once I know what you could check Elliot's his various websites, or just look in Google if there's anything Elliot hosts London November 10th and 11th. Have a look, see if he's put anything up yet. I think it's not up yet, but when it is up, I will send I'll do a YouTube little thing. But you can stick that date in your diary. He told me the dates, 10th and 11th. I'm helping him on the 11th. Is this Bristol group all open to all? It's open to you if you've got a dick, basically. It's open. It's going to be a Bristol men's group, basically, for men who really want to step up, get into some bioenergetics. It's probably be a 3-hour session, 2.5 to 3 hours. And we'll do something like hour and a quarter, hour and a half of quite male side bioenergetics, and then have about an hour sitting in a circle, and individuals who want to talk about and do a bit of process work guided by me, can do it, when they want to step up a little bit. I know quite a lot of group therapy structures that are very useful for young men to really, go through some of the shit what we would have gone through in tribal society, but we haven't gone through. So we'll be doing some of that work around feeling, empowered. Basically, the bottom line is a men's empowerment group, basically. But it's certainly open to all men, essentially. Ethan, any more advice on introducing yourself to girls? I've always lacked confidence talking to girls, but I know it's a necessary step for me to grow more self-esteem. Bottom line is you just have to breathe and just go and do it. You have to just go and do it. You don't have to always go up and talk to the prettiest girl, the one that you fancy the most. You can go up and talk to someone who maybe is in the middle. Just practice talking to women in social situations. Just start and breathe. And, maybe you get some reactions sometimes, but try not to just be put off by that. A lot of the time we get a no, or someone gives us some negativity, and people just collapse and don't come out of themselves for a long time. You've got to look what you need in that situation. Maybe you need a male friend to share what was going on. But you've got to just go up and start talking to women. You've got to just go up, even if it's just buying something in the shop, say another line, say another something. So you just slowly start to develop confidence being around women. Basically, that's all I can really suggest. There are guys who do these pickup workshops. A buddy of mine runs those, American guy in Budapest, Peter, and that kind of thing. But some people think it's a bit dodgy, but I mean, I don't know. I think he's pretty cool with it. And at the end of the day, as a guy, you want to feel like you can project yourself towards women and just go up and talk to women, and that's what women like, actually. Yes, it helps if you're 6'6" and you look fucking great, but the majority of men are not in this category, you know, and you don't need to be in this category. Even beautiful women, you can go up and talk to them. If you're older or younger or 6 inches fucking shorter, you can go up and talk to them. And actually, a lot of them, if you've got a bit of a unique honesty to yourself, you know, and honesty makes you pretty unique, you know, you will be attractive to women. You will be. They might not even fancy you sexually so much, but they will talk to you if they find you intriguing. Women are like that. Women are like that, you know. Pretty women do get pretty bored of the same old bullshit from men. You know, so you gotta just be your fucking self, man. It's okay. It's really okay. I'm gonna do about another 3 or 4 minutes. Thomas, I have some trauma because I had porn-related erectile dysfunction. Now every time I try something with a girl, it's like a block. What if I can't get it up? There's a way to overcome that. Breathing and feeling into your body, breathing and feeling into your belly is the bottom line for me. You know, as you get more in your body, then erections will be more natural. You know, a lot of men are brought up in a highly pornographic environment, and the bottom line with porn is it's up here, it's in your brain. There's too much. I still get it sometimes. I'm having sex with someone and I'm thinking about, I've got a little porno movie about someone else going in my mind, you know. You got to drop that, breathe and come back into your body as much as you can. It may take a while. Bioenergetics is really, really good for helping with sexual issues, and it doesn't matter what kind of bioenergetics either. Anything that brings you more in your body will help. When you feel more in your body will get erections naturally, and they will stay naturally. And also, you know, you won't be in this kind of thing like performance anxiety. I've got a hard on now. You're with a woman. I've got a hard lying in bed. I've got a hard on now. Got to get it in quick because it might go away. You know, this kind of anxiety in the mind. You know, I used to get that, something chronic. You know, and then you'll be able to just go a bit with it, go with the flow. Valleys as well as mountains, as they say in Tantra. You know, so that you can be in bed with a woman for a long time. And women like this stuff. They like this stuff. You know, they like to be in bed with a guy for a long time. They also like sometimes to just really be fucked hard. No denying it. But that is not the only type of sex there is. If you only watch porno movies, that's pretty much all you're going to see. But it is only one aspect of sexuality. And you can learn a lot by taking it a bit more slow, by chatting to the women what they want. And just so you get the experience. So many people in our culture never get any meaningful sexual experience. It's a fucking shame. But finally, they have to take responsibility to go out and get it. But, you know, that's the advice I would give. Cool. Sorted. Adam, hi. Heroes, Devaraj. Anyone who pushes the limits, brave, forward thinking. Who are my heroes? I don't know. I mean, the therapist that I learned a lot from was called Varesh. He's now passed away. He was a hero of mine. And there was a few people I worked with, also Ratu Bagas in Bali. Also various satsang teachers like Muji and a woman called Niru. I mean, people who push for limits, definitely. Osho, definitely, you know. Like a 4'6" Indian guy who stood up to the whole of America, you know. I mean, fuck me, you know. Just ran his own fucking commune there, and they had to probably poison him and kill him in the end, basically, you know. People who just really stood up and did their own thing are my heroes, essentially. And I like guys like Elliot and Tyler. I don't know if they're so much my hero, but they're guys I find quite inspiring or interesting to watch. There's a few people I watch. I watch the Hodge twins on YouTube sometimes. I haven't watched them for a while. But that's you know, that's some kind of how it is, you know. Sorry, I was just looking at some other questions here. I spaced out a little bit. You know, there's a lot of guys that are quite people who give you a bit of energy on YouTube are always exciting. You know, if you're feeling a little bit down or you want to indulge in some behaviours like eating or whatever. For me, just endlessly drinking tea or something or whatever, spacing out too much. You know, maybe I watch something a bit inspiring and it gives me a bit more get up and go. I've got to go anyway, so. Really last questions. Any advice on trying to block out a girl who asks you constantly to meet up? I mean, you just have to say no to them in a way that they can feel it. You know? No. Simple as that. Okay, guys. Over and out. I've got to go. And I hope to see you next week, but I might be travelling, so it might be the week after. When I'll be in Italy, but I hope to do a session. Okay. Cheers, guys. Keep believing in yourselves and keep doing it.